Welcome and thank you so much for joining me, Alyssa Arundell, for your March 2020 tarot card reading. This is for your sun sign, your moon, or even your ascendant. It just really depends on what feels right for you. So feel free to watch the other videos if you'd like as well. And before we get into this month's reading, I just want to let you know that you can download your free 3-card tarot spread down beneath this video. You can also reach out to me for a one-to-one consultation. I'd be more than happy to work with you. But without further ado, let's get into the cards and see what they hold for you this month. Hello Cancer, and welcome to your March 2021 tarot card reading. Thank you so much for joining me this month. Let's have a little look into your situation then, Cancer, see what is happening for you. Oh, okay. Well, we've got 2 cards come out first. One flew out, literally, and we got the other one here. Okay, so you got the 7 of Cups came out, along with the 5 of Pentacles. 7 of Cups is very much about not being able to make a choice, not being able to make a decision. It's also a card of having these big, ambitious goals and dreams, and maybe it's not that you're setting yourself up for failure, Cancer. It's just maybe you've taken on a little bit too much, and I really don't like saying that to Cancerians because you are so good at taking on so many things. You're very, very resilient. You have that shell. Yes, you have that soft core, sensitive side, but you're also, you know, feisty. You can look after yourself and you can protect those that you love. And because of that resilience, I think that gives you the innate ability to dream big. One of the things that is stopping you dreaming big at the moment is some concern over your career or over your finances. The 5 of Cups is 5 of Coins rather, is very much a card that suggests that you're not really being supported financially in the way that you need, either through your work or through some kind of government help. It's definitely linked to a sense of lack. Now, lack, first of all, the first thing that comes to our mind, or my mind, when I think of lack is a bit of a cash flow crisis, right? Equally, it could mean that you've got enough for where you are now, but you're concerned about the future, or you're wondering if you've got the right resources and tools for a future project. And this is why you're being unable to make some decisions, Cancer, because you don't actually know where you stand completely financially, perhaps. For some of you, you may actually be very materially secure, but you're searching for something more, as like an emotional, spiritual connection with somebody, and you're not quite getting it. Maybe it feels like you're being emotionally deprived a bit. This could be due to lockdown, and you're not being able to maybe see people, depending on where you live in the world. Maybe you're not being able to go to work as usual, so that is causing some problems. For some of you, you could have became a little bit codependent in a relationship. Maybe in some ways some of you feel a bit lonely and a bit unworthy in a relationship, and you're questioning whether, is this just a rough patch or is this just a bad relationship, right? Because everybody has rough patches. Gosh, we're all human. We're not like perfect all the time. And I don't think there's any such thing as a perfect relationship. But is this just a dip, or is this like just not working out? And if you are single, that maybe, maybe you feel a little bit downhearted about that. This card can also suggest that maybe you're emotionally neglecting yourself, or even physically neglecting yourself in some way. So now we've gone over the gloom, Cancer. Is there any positive message to this card? Well, yes, there is. If you do feel like any of these things are missing in your life, you are very much over halfway of solving that problem. What you need to first do is just discover what it is that you are lacking. So is it that you need to become more materialistic, less materialistic? Do you need to explore your spirituality more? Do you need to become more self-reliant? Do you need to become more open to help? It's going to vary for each of you, but just first of all, figure out what it is that you're lacking at the moment. And ask for help. If you do feel a little bit shy of asking for help, if you do have some fear of rejection, just ask yourself, is that likely to happen? Because I really think 9 times out of 10, there's always going to be that anomaly, but 9 times out of 10, if somebody says, can you help me? Or I need help, people will help, even if they don't like that person. You know, there are people in my life who I don't particularly, well, they're not really in my life, but say I've had, you know, a past bully. Well, say they came to me in tears saying I need help with something. I probably would help them in some way, because I'd be thinking, well, do you know, that's what, it's just humanity. We genuinely, I feel most of us want to help each other. There are some very selfish people in the world, but I don't think the majority of people are like that. Okay, not everyone might be, you know, your cup of tea, Cancer. Maybe some people aren't exactly on your wavelength, but that doesn't mean they don't want to help you. So I think asking out for help, you know, every single person needs help occasionally. And most people do want to offer that helping hand. So I'm sorry if we've gone on a little bit with those 2 cards, Cancer, but I think that's a really important that both of those came out together. What else is going on for you this month? Well, this is fantastic. I mean, it's reversed, so it's a bit more tricky than I would like if it was, you know, not reversed, but it's the 10 of Pentacles. So, you know, the 10 of Pentacles reversed really suggests that status, family, wealth, an important job. Maybe you've experienced some of these things in your life. Maybe not all of them, but there's been something in your life that I do feel that you've been quite proud of. Maybe other people have been a little bit jealous as well. Maybe you're good looking, you know, whatever it is. People have been a bit jealous of it, but it's not really about how they feel about you. It's how you feel about you. Maybe you have this ability to put on this confidence, but, you know, behind closed doors, are you a bit of a shrinking violet? Maybe there's part of you that feels a little bit vulnerable, fearing that you're going to lose something, or that maybe that other people are hatching plots against you. I'm sorry I'm using the word maybe so much, but there's so many different variables of what the 3 cards you pulled could mean. And because this is a general reading, it's obviously fitting in with all of your energies. So forgive me for giving so many options. I think with this, the great thing is I do feel that financially some good news is going to come to you. Some kind of relief is going to come to you. The downside is I do think some family members or friends are going to be a little bit dependent on you, or maybe you feel like they're not quite listening to you or hearing you. You could have someone in your life who wants some money from you, you know, friends, family tapping you for cash, that kind of thing. Which might be difficult if you're feeling that a bit of lack. Like, I think with this, it's like you really want to help the people you care about, but you don't know how far your resources can stretch, whether this is your money or whether this is your emotional, like, because you're trying to look after yourself and you've been having maybe a bit of a hard time. So there's only so much you can give, Cancer. Like, you've got to keep some stuff for yourself, and you are very fiercely protective over the people you care about. I don't think you make superficial connections. They mean a lot to you, and you want to help the people out that you love, but you can't always take on everybody's battle or the battle of the world on your own. You know, you got to let other people in to help and take a bit of that burden off. And I think generally over the last few months, the cards that we've pulled, you have been letting people in more. And that's brilliant, because that doesn't mean that you're becoming codependent or too reliant. That just means that you're giving yourself permission to be looked after, rather than just being the constant caregiver. So the next card that comes up for you for March is the Knight of Cups. I I'm smiling because he's kind of a flirty kind of character. I really love it. You know, Knights represent the extremes of the suit. So they're the most forceful energy, if you want to call it that, of the suits, because Knights represent messages. They're pushing forward. And because Cups are emotions, you could see that your emotions are really running rife in your life at the moment, or soon will be. This can mean a very passionate or romantic connection or liaison. You could find yourself involved with someone who's very charming, very emotional, a great lover, who really wants to do their utmost to please you. Like, wow, you know. If you're in a relationship that is a bit rocky, like we suggested at the beginning, it could mean that you need to consider whether you have expected too much from that partner. Perhaps they did overpromise what they could give you or how they could be. Or maybe it's just that you need to inject a little bit of romance back into the relationship. Particularly if you feel like you've been getting under each other's feet or annoying each other at the moment. It's like maybe going for a nice walk or a little bit of time apart. I don't know, just something to spice it back up a bit. You could be being a little bit unrealistic when it comes to your friendship, your career, your business, your family life. There could be a little bit of a search for perfection this month. And again, a bit like we said with the Seven of Cups, are you setting those goals too high so that no one and nothing can please you? You know, are you wanting to rescue someone from themselves? This is a card of peeling back all of those emotions and just trying to get to the reality of the situation. Is someone that you're trying to save, do they actually want saving? If not, then quite honestly, Cancer, you're wasting your time. I know that sounds harsh. In terms of business or career, you might be feeling very inventive at the moment, but it's not necessarily that your idea is bad. It's like maybe you're implementing it in not the best way. So I generally feel this is a month of experimentation, finding out the things you want, what you don't want, just telling people how you feel, asking for some help, straightening a lot of things out. And I do think that by the end of March, you're going to be so much clearer emotionally, financially, physically within yourself. It's just going to require that little bit of patience, and it's not going to get, from A to Z really quickly. You're going to have to go through the whole alphabet, and you will get there. So let's have a look at what your energy card says for you this month, Cancer. Okay, patience. Well, this is what we've been saying, isn't it, throughout the reading? Oh, isn't she beautiful? She's this angel and she has this clock, and it is about patience, isn't it? It's about waiting, and you've done a lot of that, Cancer. You may actually be a little bit fed up of that message. But I really believe that what is coming for you is worth the wait. I think you're going to be in a much stronger place by the end of March. You're going to know exactly what it is your fears are. You're going to have really faced them head on, particularly if it's financial things that have been getting you down. I think you're really going to get a grip on that. In terms of your career, you're going to be able to implement your ideas in a much more solid way, because you're not going to be emotionally pulled all over the place. It's kind of like you're trying to deal with too much at the moment, Cancer. But that won't be the case forever. And by the end of it all, you're just going to be even more knowledgeable than you already are. At the moment, you are the crab on the beach, and you're running left and right, and you you're worn out a little bit, I feel, but that won't last forever. So to recap, think about what it is that you're lacking, and And just be very honest with yourself and other people about that. You got to make some choices, but please don't set the bar too high. You know that you are able to achieve great things, but perhaps your energy is a bit lower at the moment, and so therefore the bar needs to come down a little bit. There is absolutely no shame in that. I do think financially you're going to get some news, be a bit more secure, but just be aware that it might not be as much like you might not be able to like feed the whole world, with your money, which is what you maybe want to do. Okay, that's an exaggeration. So you may have to make some compromises on what you wanted to do with that money. But I do think it will come. And then you've got this possibility of this new romance or, getting a new kind of spark within your life. But don't get too emotionally carried away with it all. Try and keep one foot on firm land. And just keep a little bit of patience for things to just work themselves out. And I think by the end of March, you're going to be in a much stronger position. Well, there you have your March 2020 tarot card reading. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing this space with me. Again, if you would like to have your digital tarot card reading, you can find that in the description box beneath this video, as well as your free 3-card tarot. But until we speak again next month, take care and stay safe. Alyssa.